Sigmund Freud was born on May 6, 1856, and died on September 23, 1939, at the age of 83. He was born in Freiburg, Moravia, in the Austrian Empire, which is now modern-day Czech Republic. He moved to Vienna at the age of 3 and remained there for most of his life, due to an irrational fear of travel. He studied at the University of Vienna, initially planning to study law, but opting instead to study medicine. He studied philosophy, physiology, and zoology. He majored in neurology and earned his medical degree in 1881. In 1886, he married Martha Bernays and had 6 children: Matilde, Jean Martin, Oliver, Ernest, Sophie, and Anna. He was attached to his youngest daughter, Anna, who later followed in his footsteps and became a psychoanalyst. Freud was a very influential figure in modern-day psychology. He is best known for his development of psychoanalysis. By 1912, Freud had developed his final form of psychoanalysis. He is also known for his theory of the subconscious, the repression of memories, dream analysis, and child sexuality. Although his theories laid the foundation for modern-day psychology, he was severely criticized during his time period because of his scandalous theories. He was extremely unorthodox for his time period, and his earliest theories are considered to be products of his cocaine use. He was an atheist and was known to believe that religion is an illusion, and it derives its strength from the fact that it falls in with our instinctual desires.
The id, ego, superego was developed in 1923. They are technically not part of the brain, but are part of the mainstream idea of the personality. The id is impulsive and unconscious state of the mind, which works on the pleasure principle, which developed in 1920. It does not care about surroundings. The ego, it is a conscious state of the mind made to balance the unrealistic id and the external world. It is used to the reality principle and aims to satisfy the id but compromises pleasure. It seeks pleasure and avoids pain. It has no concept of right or wrong. It is simply to get pleasure without hurting itself. The superego bases itself off the moral values of society that are learned from the parents. It develops around age of between 4 and 5. It controls the id, which thrives sex and aggression. The superego is a person's need for the perfection and is based off of moral instilled by society and parents. Every normal person, in fact, is only normal on the average. His ego approximates to that of the psychotic in some part or other and to a greater or lesser extent.
According to Freud, reasonability varies from person to person depending on their mental state. A person's reasoning depends on the dominance of the id, the ego, and the superego. As previously explained, the id focuses on raising pleasure, the superego works to uphold society's moral values, and the ego meditates between the two and the real world. Therefore, any perception of reasonability varies. Freud insisted that not every action that human beings taken are rational. While this was already known, Freud was one of the first to present reasons why. He theorized that desires that are considered socially immoral are suppressed by the superego. These desires are the cause of what is known as a Freudian slip or an error in speech memory or physical action. When such a slip occurs, we attempt to rationalize them. We do not give the real reason for what we are doing either to ourselves or to our other people because the real reason is unacceptable. Memory suppression also ties in with the idea of irrational and impulsive action. Freud has once said, the conscious mind may be compared to a fountain playing in the sun and falling back into the great subterranean pool of subconscious from which it rises. A Freudian slip is a verbal or memory mistake that is believed to be linked to the unconscious mind. According to Freud, unacceptable thoughts or beliefs are withheld from conscious awareness, and these slips help reveal what is hidden in the unconscious. The unconscious continues to influence our behavior and experience, even though we are unaware of these underlying influences.
Sigmund Freud taught that you could be angry and not know it. You can also be a philosopher and not know it. And Freud was just that, an unconscious philosopher of the unconscious. Although he had developed a disdain for philosophy by the time he was at the peak of his career, Freud proposed many questions that modern-day philosophers continue to ask themselves. He presented new valid evidence to answer several philosophical questions that had troubled many philosophers before him. He is proof that one does not necessarily need to be a philosopher to be able to question the workings of the human mind.